Okay, so I'm gonna do the quick video on Exton's appointment at 2, um, and his thoughts and my thoughts, and where I would like him to be, or what I would like to see from him from this year, and maybe even not even a full goal for this year, maybe just in a few months. Um, so, uh, So I took him to this 2-year appointment, and his doctor um, said everything that I'm doing. Like it would have been a very, 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 very tough uh, appointment if I wasn't in the mindset that I'm in now, that I already know. Um, so I told my doctor that he's not diagnosed yet, that, you know, uh, that he's on the list. So my son is on the list to be diagnosed. It's on 2 lists. One of them is from, I forget the place that it's called, but I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. Because what it is, it's over a video. Okay. So they video chat Exton and they diagnose him. Well, that's not happening. You are not going to see my son over a video chat. And trust me, and I get it. I get doctors know and they see what they're looking for. Um, and so that, to each their own. If that's how your child gets diagnosed or whatever, to each their own, honestly. Again, in my heart, I already know that Exton has autism, but I don't even know if it matters on where on the spectrum he is. I just want you to see my son in person before he carries a label for the rest of his life. So I'm on Easter Seals as well, and I love love their program, and that's what I don't know why I did this. I don't know. I'm getting carried away with my hands, but that's where I want him to go is Easter Seals or any place that's like this. What I want from Exton, and I'm just looking real quick, um, is I want him to be seen on different occasions, like different times. So what Easter Seals does is they do an interview with Tom and I, and they talk about our concerns, and then they have different therapists see him 3 different days, I believe it is, or 2, but I think it's 3. So, and that's what I love, because I can bring Exton in there on a great day. Let's say he's having a great flipping day. So the first time that I got Exton evaluated, he was only approved for OT once a month, and now sees OT once a week. And now it's getting to the point where actually OT needs to be twice a week. So you got to think they had a half hour with him, and they can only go off of what I can say, but they have to go off of what he's doing. So they only approved him for once a month, and OT is like huge. That's where they're dealing with their the sensory processing disorders, OT. So, and that's a huge factor with Exton, is a sensory processing disorder. So that just goes to show, like, I don't want to take him into to get him diagnosed, and he has a great day and they're like, you're crazy lady, or he has a terrible day and they're like, and I don't know if it matters, but they'll say like he's high on the spectrum when he's really not, like, and I'm sorry, I don't know the difference. I'm still learning. That's what these videos are all about. These videos are where I am at today. Now, I'm probably 2 years from now are gonna watch these videos and be like, you're an idiot. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. But that's all I know. So I don't know. Does it matter where on the spectrum he is? I don't know. So, but I just want a good diagnosis. I want something where they see him multiple times, where maybe multiple people see him and work with him, and then give me a diagnosis. This is something that he is going to carry for the rest of his life. So I don't want it over a video of an hour-long video chat, and then now he has to carry this for the rest of his life. So I want like, give my son a chance. That's kind of where I'm at. So yes, he's on the list. I just called, so my doctor now wants me to call 2 other places to put him on the list of that, but I did call them today. One of them doesn't take the insurance, and one of them isn't seeing children right now because of the coronavirus. So my Exton's doctor, his daughter is severely autistic, and she's 6 now, and you know, he, from his background and because he knows personally, he's said to me, my son has autism. Okay, so I told him that I already have felt that way, and he said that he can't just write it on a piece of paper and just call it a day. Like, I have to get him like diagnosed or whatever. But it's clear as day for me, and I feel like for the people that actually know autism, know what they're looking for, and now it's crazy because Tom and I can be at a park, see a child, and see something, and we're like, the child has autism, and actually, autism, like, before you have or is dealing with autism, like a child of your own, or know somebody close in your family, or in the field of that sort, you don't know how common autism is, and it is very, very, very common. So like, Tom and I will be out, and like I said, you know, it happens quite often to where, and right off the bat, if I see like a mom with an autistic child, like, I just feel, and it may be stupid, but I feel like a bond with that parent already. Like, you don't even know me, but like, I get you and you get me, like, and like, I will totally exchange numbers with you, and I will totally hang out with you. And that's stupid, and I guess not every person is like that, but for me, it's just like, you know, sometimes it's hard to be around friends that have a kid that's around Exton's age, because they're on 2 different levels, and I'm not comparing kids, and I'm not doing any of that. It's just sometimes it's hard for me. So this video, I feel like I'm gonna get really emotional with, just FYI, giving the heads up. But I do feel like maybe Exton gets judged a lot, or I get judged a lot, and it's something that I'm still working with. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, like, I've come to terms with Exton, and I'm totally fine with it. Like, I'm totally 100% fine with it, and I'm taking it day by day. But I would be lying if I didn't say that sometimes when I see somebody that's Exton's age, sometimes it does. Like, sometimes, sometimes when I see a child that can voice what they want, point to what they want, say what they want, it's hard for me, because I want that so bad for my son, and I don't know if I'll ever get it. I'm a believer that Exton will talk, but I can't tell the future either. So that's all I want from him, is I just want to know my son's needs and wants, and I do, because I know my son so well, but I want him to be able to tell me, like, even something so stupid, like, my friend posted a video of her daughter point to a movie that she wanted to watch, and I was just like, I wish Exton could do that. I wish Exton could tell me what movie he wants to watch, or what YouTube video, because YouTube videos are life. So I wish that he could tell me, like, I want to watch this YouTube video. And so my biggest thing is just, and my fear is school, of just, like, I got emotional when I talked to my doctor about it, because I said I'm totally okay with where he's at and everything, but my biggest fear is him not being able to tell me how his first day of school went, or if somebody's picking on him, or things like that. So as much as I've come to terms with everything, because I guess that's totally different. Like, I'm totally fine with autism and the life that we live, and I'm totally good with it. I'm just, everybody wants to hear their child express their wants and their needs, and to know if anything is wrong or if anything hurts. Like, oh my god, like, I would love it if my son could be like, my stomach hurts, you know? Or my head hurts, or I'm cold, or I'm hot. To me, it's a constant guessing game. So one day, get your shit together. So one day, I hope that I can get those. I can just simple steps. So that's where my goal is for speech. I'm not asking for full sentences. I'm not asking for, God, no, that would be amazing if I can hear us have like a back and forth conversation. Awesome. But for now, and even if it is for the rest of his life, I just hope that someday he can tell me if something's bothering him, or if he's hungry, or if he's thirsty, or anything like that. Like I said, it just a lot of the things of are you cold? Are you hot? Like at night, it's just like you always want to make sure that your child is being comforted. Like, are you cold? Do you want the fan off you? Do you want the fan on you? Like, so, and those are just guessing games. Like, I just kind of gotta feel his hands, feel his feet. Like, and it's a lot of paranoia. Like, of, is he okay? You know, I always said that I will never put my son in daycare until he can talk, until he can tell me what's going on, because I have a trust issue, which is okay. Like, who doesn't with their children? Like, it's a scary thing. God, now after crying, I look like shit. Anyway, so I always said that I will never put Exton in daycare until he's able to tell me what's going on. Well, now I'm in a different situation. He may be able to tell me what's going on in the future, and he may never be able to tell me what's going on. So I am looking at putting Exton in a daycare, because I want him to be around other kids, and I want him to get used to being without me. And I need to get used to being without him too. I am just as attached to my son as he is to me. So, like, that's no joke. Like, I'm gonna be that mom that drops off my son, like, hysterically bawling and acting like I'm never gonna see him again, even though I'll be gone for like 2 hours. Like, I gotta get used to it too. But it's what's best for him, and I need him around other kids so that he can learn how to share, because that's a thing that goes on, and that's a thing for any child at this age, and they don't have siblings. Like, good luck getting your 2-year-old to share something that they want. Like, it's not gonna happen. So I need to get him somewhere like that to get him to learn how to share. But so I was talking to my doctor about it again today. And it is crazy that, like, I took him to a place, the only place I've taken him so far, and I already felt the judgment. Like, holy shit, like, this is the stuff that I'm going to be dealing with for a while. Is I told her that, you know, Exton is in therapy right now, and that he is showing signs of autism, and he's got a sensory processing disorder, hands down, without being diagnosed. And she's like, oh, well, like, what therapy is he in? And I was like, oh, is that an issue? Like, so I already felt like the judgment. And my therapist, not my therapist, Exton's therapist, his behavioral therapist has even told me that a lot of kids actually get kicked out of their daycare because our children are a lot to handle. Now, for me, is that true? Probably, I guess. I don't know any different. So, is Exton a lot to handle? Yeah, at times, like, you know, what 2-year-old isn't a lot to handle? Like, Exton's going through his terrible twos. But you put the lack of communication on top of that. And so, all right, I had to check again. But I will be dealing with that. And she gave me the heads up with that. But my first time dealing with that, and I was just like, wow, like, okay, here we go. So that makes me not want to put Exton in this daycare, because you already came off like, oh, and it's just like, what do you mean, oh? So, but yeah, so that's a struggle for me that I have to deal with. That I'm gonna be putting him in school, or I'm putting him in a daycare, and he can't tell me if he had a good day or if this person's mistreating them. So that is something where I'm going to have to work with. And honestly, if that daycare can have like cameras so that I can see like that my son is being treated okay, like, if you guys know any places, like, let me know, because I would rather have cameras there. And it's only like part-time, to where I just want him to get used to the other kids, and to be without me. But yeah, it's hard to drop your child off and not be like, hey, did you have a good day, or did you have fun, or so anyway, so but yeah, so my doctor had, so he's on the list. Okay, so I'm getting him to that point where I'm getting him into a daycare and everything, and getting him comfortable without me and stuff. But so as far as him being diagnosed and everything, he is on the list. And even so, his therapist had even said, they see it. Okay, so I was on a I'm on a support group for sensory processing disorder and autism. Okay, and autism, you can't compare your child to the other. Like, my husband's godson, my godson, that's the way I'm gonna say it, but he has autism, and you can't compare him to Exton, and you can't compare Exton to him. And no matter who has autism, now they might have the same some traits that they have, but at the same time, like, no autistic child is like the other autistic child. They're all like different. So things that may work for her may not, like, as in his mom, may work for her, that may not work for me, and things that work for me may not work for her. So like, but the understanding and the getting each other is a huge bonding thing. So whenever she wants to give me advice, you know who you are. Whenever she wants to give me advice, I'm all ears. I am like, whenever I am going through a hard time, like, she's my phone call. So, like, it's just easier when somebody's actually going through it and then gets it. So, but so yes, Exton is not diagnosed as of now, but all his therapists have even said, and his doctor, and anybody that really knows Exton, can see it. But when I was on a sensory processing disorder, was like, oh my God, these people that are on here, it's like as if they're talking about Exton. Like if I didn't know any better, they would be talking about my son. Like, everything that they're going through, I was like, so then I talked to his OT, and I was like, you know what, like, maybe he doesn't have autism. Maybe it's just a sensory processing disorder, and that's why he can't focus, and that's why, he does this and he does that, and that. It all adds up. Like, and then she had to break it down to me, and she's like, just so you know, a sensory processing disorder is never diagnosed alone. It always comes with something. It can come with autism. It can come with ADHD. It can come with ADD. So they've also said that ADD with a sensory processing disorder comes off like autism. So then I was just like, because I have ADD, and I wish I spoke up about it when I was younger, because I would have done a hell lot better in school if I would have known, like, that wasn't normal. Like, watching the teacher talk and not hearing anything was not normal. And I knew it was not normal in a way, because I'd see everybody nodding their head and understanding what was going on, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm hearing absolutely nothing or comprehending anything. So as I got older, like, I have ADD. So and ADD runs in the family. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's ADD with a sensory processing disorder, and it still can be. But so my doctor, when I told my doctor that today, he gave me that look. He gave me that look of like the no, and then that's when he said, if I can diagnose your son right now, it would be autism. Like, so he pretty much tried to knock my walls down, which is fine, because again, either way, whatever Exton has or is or whatever, like, Exton is Exton, and I love him and who he is, and that's what matters to me. I don't care about a label. Like, even the doctor said today, no matter when you get the label, I'm doing everything that I need to do for my son. So nothing's gonna change other than having a piece of paper that backs me up, okay? Which actually, as terrible as it is, I don't need that piece of paper right now for anything else other than maybe some people like to be like, listen, stop talking and read this, okay? As dumb as it is, and it's just, everybody likes to have an opinion, and people bother me when they say that they think I'm thinking the worst. I'm sorry, but when did autism become the worst case scenario? Because I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure, like, there is way worse out there, and I'm not thinking the worst. I just know my son, and I'm not in denial, is kind of what it is. Now, that's not to say it's still not, like, hard at times of thinking of the future, but I try not thinking of the future, and I try not getting ahead of myself, and I try living day by day, and I'll worry about the future when the future comes. So of course, like I said, I have my good days, my bad days, but I just don't like when people speak of my son when they don't know my son. So I feel, this is advice for anybody that watches this, is for your child, if you have a gut feeling, but you have other little birds chirping in your ear, and they're saying, no, 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 no. You're the mother, and whatever your gut is telling you, you are with your child 24/7, okay? You know your child, because that is your child. Go with what your gut is telling you, not by what other people are saying. If I listen to others, Exton still would not be in therapy. Exton, I would be making excuses for where Exton is at. So I would not be in the part of the game that I'm in if I were to listen to other people. So that's just my advice to people that are watching this, that are going through the same situation, is listen to your gut. You know your child. And then, hell, if I'm wrong and he doesn't have autism, he's still Exton. And if he has autism, he's still Exton. So, like, his label, whatever he gets, doesn't affect me in any way. If anything, it's more clarity. It's more of insurance purposes. That is the reason why I'm getting my son diagnosed. I'm not getting my son diagnosed for everybody else, okay? I'm not getting him diagnosed just for shits and giggles, okay? I'm getting him diagnosed for insurance purposes. For if I'm trying to get him in more therapy right now, and I can't get him into OT outside the home because he doesn't have that piece of paper, okay? So my doctor has even written, beliefs of autism, but until that is actually written in paper, I can't get him the therapy that I want him to have until he is diagnosed. So thank God I for early child intervention, because they don't need a diagnosis in order for you to get some therapy for your child. And if you are just contemplating, like, you know, get them checked out. Like, get your child checked out. Like, don't question yourself. Like, it doesn't hurt. And that's what I told my my doctor. Even if Exton, if like he just had a speech delay, then the therapy that he's going through, it doesn't hurt him. So, like, what does it matter? Like, who cares what other people say when they're like, your child's fine, like, and making you sound like you're crazy. Like, if you want to get your child checked out and get evaluated, that's your child. So you do what's best that you think for your child. Like, don't listen to other people. So, I'm gonna get off that subject, but where I was on my roller coaster today was, I was totally fine at the doctor's. It actually went well. And love you, Tom, but this is just the struggle that I dealt with today. Was so I called my husband and I told him that what the doctor said was that, you know, it's clear as day to him that Exton has autism. And I was like, and then he said that, you know, we're doing everything right. And then that would have been a super hard conversation for him to have. And it's a conversation that he doesn't have with parents that are in denial or that don't know yet, because it's not his place. Like, he is not the diagnosis doctor, so that he leaves that up to the diagnosis doctor to tell the parents that your child has autism or whatever. But he's like, because you're at the point that you're at right now, we can have this conversation and I can open up to you and I can talk to you about what I think, you know, the steps that you could be taking of dealing with insurance and everything like that. So I asked Tom, you know, he's like, okay. And I was like, you've come to terms with all this, right? And then he's like, he said, no, like, not really. And I don't know why that was so hard for me to hear. It kind of took me back, and I'm like, really? I was like, well, if you haven't already come to terms with it, you better start hopping on that train, because that's where we're headed, you know? And it's not bad, and it's not bad that he hasn't come to terms with it, and it's harder for some others than it is for other people. So I do feel like Tom's having a harder time with it than I am. And now, again, don't take it this wrong way. Like, I think I have my days and my times, but I snap out of it real fast too. I don't even say I have my days. I have my moments. But again, I snap out of it real fast. So I asked Tom, I texted him and I asked him, what is it that's so hard to come to terms with it? Like, what is it? What's the part that scares him the most? And he texts back, other people. And I'm in total agreement with that. So he's scared for his son. He's scared that, you know, other people are going to pick on him, or that he won't have friends or things like that. And I'm right there next to my husband. I have those fears too. But that doesn't mean I'm going to shut out what I know, you know? We're just gonna deal with those times, and thankfully I have a great support group, and that I'm on, that I feel like Tom needs to go on, and he's calling me right at this moment, which I'm going to decline. Sorry, I'm ending it real fast anyway. But these are going to be, there's times where that I'm scared of too. See, he loses my train of thought. Hold on, I'm gonna pause this. Okay. So anyway, yeah, the fear of the future is a scary thing, but at the same time, for other parents as well, like, you don't know your child's future either. You don't know, are they going to be picked on in school? Are they going to have an upright future? Are they going to move out of mom and dad's house? So the fear that I have for Exton and that Tom has for Exton is a normal fear I feel for any parent. So with that being said, it's just a diagnosis with Exton, if it is autism, it's just a label. It doesn't change who he is. It doesn't change our son. So my hope for Tom is that he comes to realize that just because he's diagnosed with autism, what does that change? What does that change of our son? It changes nothing. He is who he is, and if we had another child, we would still have the same fears that we have for our son now. Communication, that's a hard thing to come to terms with and to hope, because for my doctor, his daughter is 6 years old and she still doesn't talk. And I asked if she says any words, and he said no. But again, and that's a struggle, and my heart goes out to him because I can't imagine not hearing Exton talk to me and tell me things. So I already talked about that, and but don't let autism scare you. Don't let a label scare you. And this goes for everybody, like whoever's watching this. And I'm not even just talking about autism, Down syndrome, all of that. Like, your child is who they are, and I promise you that your child is going to show you a different light, like whether they don't have anything or they have some sort of label. Like, just give your child love and show them and make them strong people. And that's what I can do as a parent, and that's what Tom will do as a parent. Tom, stop calling me. Laura, I'm talking about you. Anyway, so I'm hoping that Tom can kind of just come to terms with it, and maybe I need to invite him to my support groups on Facebook. But so my hopes for Exton for this year is to and even for me, actually, this is more for me, is I hope that my hopes for therapy, because I hope that I can get him into more therapy, and find great therapists that I already have now, and make progress like we already are. And I can find out more about Exton that I may not know now, because when I find out more about my son, it makes me a better parent. So when I found out that he had a sensory processing disorder, it made me a better parent, because I was able to give him things that I know he'll love, and I'm able to do things that I know he'll love, and it makes him happier, because and if I'm trying to teach him something, I know that, hey, I gotta pause for a minute, let him jump on the trampoline and get that energy out, and then we can get back into and focus. I know that for me, when I do my research, and I know if I try to make him look me in the eyes, like, I can make my son look me in the eyes, but now all he's going to do is focus, that he's just focusing it into my eyes. He's not listening to what I'm saying, because he's so uncomfortable with looking into my eyes that now he's not learning. That's the way I look at it, and that's what I've read from older people with autism, is, do you want me to learn, or do you want me to look you in the eyes? Because I can't do both. So to me, educating myself on more, that's my hopes for this year, and to just know my son better, and again, my hopes for him is that he gets down his pointing and just able to communicate his needs, of whether that's talking, or whether that's pointing and showing, or whether it's doing it himself. So if he's cold, I hope that he can pull the covers up and put it on himself. I hope if he's hot, he'll take it off, which I think he does do already. If he's hungry, I hope that he can express that in some way. If he's thirsty, I'm hoping that he can express that in some way. I'm hoping that for Exton, that he finds his communication and he finds his strengths, knowing that he can do stuff on his own without our help. And I hope when he does need my help that he's able to do this or tell me I need help. So I just hope communication gets better for this year, and I am a believer that it will. So yeah, I will do another video in, like, I don't know, in a few months to see where he's at in his progress. But Exton's doing great, and he's still a snuggle bug, and he makes me laugh, and he's amazing. And I know when I make another video, he's still gonna be awesome and amazing and a snuggle bug. I hope he stays a snuggle bug forever. And I hope that he continues to love his mommy the most. That's it. Bye, guys.